How's it going, fellow in-game enthusiasts? I hope you're having a wonderful day and you are ready for a really awesome dungeon simulator online co-op adventure, because today we are checking out the open beta version of Fellowship. If you haven't heard about Fellowship, this game is trying to capture one of the most iconic parts of MMORPGs, where you form a party with random strangers or with your friends and you dive into dungeons to take them down, bump up the difficulty, gear up your character, and all the good stuff. This game needs 4 people to form a party to go down and do some adventuring. Also, in this game, you are not making your own character. There are different heroes, pre-made characters that you can choose between, and you can swap between them every time if you want to do that. Currently, there is 7 characters that we can choose from, and we are going to check out Helena today, who's my favorite character so far. This is the first tank that we can choose. So, the War Master Helena. Helena is a stern presence within the Fellowship, maintaining a seasoned warrior's discipline. She uses both the shield she wields to protect others and to distance herself, becoming too familiar with her companions lest she suffer the burden of loss again. Pretty straightforward, pretty classic tanky character with a huge sword and the shield and awesome plate armor. Playstyle. Despite being weighed down by full plate armor, Helena is always ready to charge into the fray to protect her companions. Helena is a melee tank and excels in the front lines, taking hits instead of her allies. Her Veteran of War mechanics allows Helena to reduce the cooldowns of her abilities to allow for more frequent use of her powerful attacks and toughness generators. And toughness is Helena's main resource for mitigating incoming damage and surviving dangerous encounters. Her toughness is shown as a blue bar to the right of the character that we will see really soon. This is the main hub of the game where other players are gathering, and we are going to discover, the core gameplay loop of Fellowship. So there are a couple of dungeons that we can go and delve into, and we can click on the play button or click on the game finder table here, and we can change between quick play, challenge, and endless. Endless is not ready yet. Challenge is the ranked version of the dungeons, and the quick play, of course, for fun. You just queue up with random people to complete dungeons. You need the classic layout: 1 tank, 1 healer, and 2 damage dealers. Before we dive into the game itself, let's just really quickly go around the hub and let's see what we can do. So here are the cosmetics. We can change cosmetics to our heroes. Unfortunately, the items that we are gathering not changing the outlook of the characters, only the cosmetic ones. Pretty understandable, but it's still a shame in my opinion. Stash, where we can put all the awesome stuff that we gather. We have like 7 different stash tabs, really nice from the get-go. There's a scrapper. If we don't need an item, we can just scrap it. We got gold, hold it down, and we just get gold to buy other stuff. Here is the blacksmith, who can do really nice stuff to our weapons and things like that, so we can upgrade one of the items that we are having, for example this faithful arm, or we just go and upgrade another item that we have, for example this really nice chest piece, a couple of times. So as you can see, the item level or the gear level is just going up as you forge them at the blacksmith, and you are just having more of these really nice stats on them. Also, you are getting different currencies. You saw gold. There are quartermaster tokens we can buy items with, and the cash keys. We are getting different types of regions to do some forging and crafting. So with the crafting currently, maybe I don't understand it properly, but the only thing I can do is that I can reforge it to a random item to a different slot. But we already have a much better plate chest armor, so I'm just going to reforge it, hoping to have something better. This is an arm, which we don't need at the moment because you already have a great weapon, so I'm just going to reforge it once again. Our helmet is item level 30, which is 45, so that was a cool thing to do. With the starter items, so-called starter items, unfortunately we cannot do the reforging. These are like the introductory items that we can buy here from the equipment vendor. These are item level 30, which you can get for the quartermaster tokens. Also cosmetic vendor, this one costs 250 to get, and this one is for the mounts, what we can get. And here are the resource things. So for quartermaster tokens we can buy upgrade materials, but there are uncommon transmutables and rare transmutable stuff as well. So you know, let's just buy a transmutable box, and you can see we got an ingot, a ether, and a fine whetstone. So if we go there we can upgrade our items more, but at the moment we only have like green items. So if you go here to the equipment vendor, you can see there are blue items as well, called the League 2 stuff. This is the League 1 stuff. I haven't, you know, reached the end of League 1. There is still one difficulty I have to complete to beat the Contender thing. Okay, pretty straightforward so far. Also, let's click on the reward tab, because this is really interesting. If you pick a character, and I played 2 characters so far, the first 16 adventures you complete, you get a nice reward every single time. You get new abilities, you get some talent rows, you get some talent points, get some currency as gold, and at the end you can get some cash keys and a random hero weapon, which is level 16 item level wise. Also, if you are start to do adventuring, you get the mounts, and also reach item level 5, you get some coins, and from then on we can go into the Contender League, where we can get like really nice upgrades if we go up in the dungeon ratings. So I am currently at 934, and I need to reach 1060 to complete this, and I can get a really nice cosmetic reward. This is enough about the whole core gameplay loop of the game. Look at the amount of HP that we are having, pretty nice. And let's just really quickly talk about the character that we are showing today, Helena. So your classic tank, the difficulty is 2 out of 5, which means is a really nice starting tank character. Our starting skills are Measure Strike, Power Strike, Shield Slam, Shield Throw, Shockwave. These are the damage dealing ones. And we got Charge, of course, which is charge to the enemies. We got Bash, we can interrupt enemy spells. Keep in mind, we can only interrupt the yellow abilities. The gray ones cannot be interrupted. Classic Taunt, just, you know, make the enemies pay attention to ourselves. And we got the Shield Up. So if you remember the toughness thing, which is going on here, if I use this, the toughness is just going up. And if I am taking damage, this one is going down. So what I like to do is keep up this bar, so we are getting less and less damage, and the healer is happy, the DPS are happy, and we can, you know, just tank all the nasty enemies and keep them in bay while we are not dying. Thanks to leveling up, we are getting a couple of really nice new abilities. For example, Iron Ball. Your toughness cannot be reduced for 12 seconds. Really useful. Sweeping Strike. We are dealing some really nice bleed damage to the enemies. This is an AoE one. Grand Melee. I can make enemies only using their auto attacks against us and the party. Pretty cool. And Hold the Line resets the cooldown for Shield Slam, and we can blast it much better and faster. And this is Siege Breaker, our ultimate ability, if you will. We are going into like a Siege Breaker mode, and we are dealing extra damage with Shield Slam, Shield Throw, and Shockwave, and we are taking reduced damage while this is going on. It is pretty awesome. If you use the abilities and take down enemies, this bar is just filling up, and then if you get 100, you can use it with the X button. And of course, with the Z, we can summon the mount. So I would say this is enough about how the character plays. What I'm going to do, or usually do, is just go charge at one of these packs. Packs are from like 2 enemies to 7. I just go there, I usually taunt them, put the shields up and do a seeping strike if it's not on cooldown, and then I just blast shield throw and shockwave to deal nice amount of AoE damage, and I use my other abilities to reduce the cooldown of these two and, you know, just try to keep enemies at bay and make the other teammates happy. This is what tanks do usually in MMOs and in Fellowship as well. Okay, so let's go and do a quick play with the game finder. I'm not sure this is going to happen because I'm a tank or just so many people are playing and queuing is super fast, but of course if I just click search, we just like count 1, 2, and as a tank we are just right in to the dungeoning. Okay, so as I mentioned, 4 people for, you know, a party, and you can have like the same DPS in a group, but now we have different ones. Healer, one of the casters, and the other caster. So we are having fire, ice. This one is a like nature-based character, and we are the muscle. So as you can see, I just charge in, go around, do the nice AoE things, get the other guys. I just go here, ask the fella to join the place here so we can line them up really nicely and take them down. So we can reduce the cooldown of the shield slam, and I just blast these fellas and, you know, try to keep them in bay. Basically, that's the character. If you played any other MMORPGs, and if you played like a Holy Paladin or like a Warrior or something, I'm not exactly sure what's the equivalent of these in other games. Maybe in Final Fantasy XIV it's like the Warrior, but he's not using shield. I guess, yeah, something similar to that. You will know how this character plays and works. And, you know, this is a really good thing about Fellowship, in my opinion, is that they took out all the familiar things from these games that we all love and cherish and played for, you know, years and years, and we just, you know, can blast it in a bubble, if you will, because there is no leveling, there is no questing, there is no other things to do. You don't have to like discover the different dungeons. You just go in, queue up with random people or friends, and you just blast them, have nice items, and so on and so forth. Of course, the question is, how long can you hold it up without getting bored? I played with this character for like 7 hours now. I really enjoy it, but the thing is, I definitely going to change to another character because I do feel like that this one is, you know, I wouldn't say I learned it properly because there is still room for improvement, of course, but, you know, I'm pretty sure that the devs were counting this in with the core gameplay loop, that you are going to change between characters. So for example, you know, get a hero shooter, like Paladins or Overwatch or whatever, and I usually in these games I usually play one character as much as I can so I can learn it, but after a while you just kinda get bored of their core mechanics, so you just try another ones, and that's part of this game, definitely. So yeah, as you can see, the UI is extremely familiar. There is a UI or HUD management part as well by default, which I think is a pretty nice touch, because based on my, you know, MMO experiences, one of the best part was to make my HUD look unique and, you know, do the best for me gameplay wise and utility wise. So I really love that option by default. Normal dungeons are not timed, so as you can see, we are just blasting up a really nice bar. We are almost at 60%, and if we push this bar to 100, we can face the boss and have a nice loot cache at the end that we open and, you know, just have fun. Okay, we don't need these fellas, but they just pull it anyways, so no problem. So I can showcase different types of enemies. There are different types of tactics, how you wanna go to a boss. Some parties usually skip different types of enemies that they don't need. I was in a party where the healer had like invisibility, and then we just went through the places that we wanted to skip and no one was, you know, noticing us. It was kind of fun because it gives you the chance to play these dungeons a bit different than like in normal MMORPGs, because as far as I remember, most of the dungeons had like one way to solve them in WoW and other games. So like here there are like a couple of optional places that you can choose to go with, or come on man, just hitting my healer. So yeah, it's fun, I guess, because these dungeons are relatively short, so they can be completed in like 10 or 15 minutes. I'm pretty sure they wanted to have some versatility with how you can complete those, because otherwise they would be kinda boring after a while. In this early, like, you know, let's not call it early, open beta, because the early access will come out in a couple of weeks. There is like a chance where you get the same dungeon in a row, like twice. Not the best idea in my opinion, because it induces the chances of getting bored in a way. But right now, like 4 or 5 or maybe 6 dungeons are available, so you're getting rotated between them, and if you get bored of the quick matches, you can queue up to do the ranked thing, which is basically the same dungeons on higher difficulty and better loot and all the great stuff. So we reached 100, so we are going to skip most of the enemies, I guess. We can skip because we don't need all of them. But sure, if you join a quick match, you can just say that, okay, there is no time limit, there is no pressure. I can take down all the enemies I want to take down, because why not? After all, we are here to bash some heads and grab some loot, so that's great. So we got the kill score to 100, so from now on we just go in and try to take down the boss. Maps are really nice, you know, color palettes is also pretty similar, and this is no coincidence in my opinion, because they were extremely, how to put it, like clever with their choices, because in this case this game is somewhere between a couple of well-known titles, you know, the Free Leather MMO and also with the other hero-based shooter from the same company, and they just blend it together with some, I don't know, quick matchmaking and some familiar yet new ideas in a way, and that's it, and you have a spammable co-op adventure with your friends or random players to relieve one of the best parts of the MMO genre had to or has to offer, because, you know, I'm pretty sure everyone likes dungeons in those online games. I know a couple of exceptions who likes to, like, you know, just journey on alone. I like playing MMOs alone, that's pretty cool, but, you know, we cannot argue that dungeons are the most essential parts of these games, and, you know, if we take out this part to level up a character, to be able to join your first dungeon at all, or like get a friend to even do it, to be social. Here you don't even have to be social. I usually, you know, greet the players I'm in a party with, because this is my, I don't know, MMO legacy, that I usually try to be polite and not trying to like make a player have a bad time while we are in a party. But of course here I already met a couple of like classic MMO players that, OMG, what are you doing? This is not the tactics. Jesus, why are we doing this? We can skip it, you know, the classic MMO jazz. And yeah, we took down the boss. This is relatively the first dungeon, so no crazy mechanics. We just have to get out from the big bad zones, and I just, you know, have to rotate the boss so it won't burn the whole party down. And yeah, that was like 10 minutes or something. Sure, we got some cool stones, we got some really nice other, you know, like currencies that we can use, but at the moment I cannot get new items from these quick matches and other things like that. So what I usually do is queue up for ranked. So we are trying to check out a ranked type of thing this time. Hopefully the matchmaking will be okay and we will find at least a party and maybe we can complete it in time. Last time I played, you know, that was like a frozen type of dungeon and we died at the last percentage and we would have been in time, so that was kind of a problem, but you know, okay, really cool. So difficulty 4, 5, 6. So we are just going up and blasting 6 because I was able to complete 5 last time because our dungeon rating was up there. So Contender 6, this is currently the biggest difficulty I can reach. So I'm trying to focus here and maybe talk less because now you understand how the character is working that we are playing at the moment. So here is the kill score and we have 15 minutes to complete this dungeon. So what I'm trying to do, okay, basically the same map. And here I'm just going to pull basically the minimum that we need and in this case to reach the boss in time and being able to take it down. So about the other characters, usually we have the same type of layout for most of the parties. There is a rogue type of character. Difficulty, it is, I guess, 4 stars out of 5, or like we have a 6 type of rank. I'm not exactly sure, but it's relatively hard character to play. And I haven't really seen that character much. Usually the 2 DPS we are having is the frozen lady and the other like fire mage type of cocky guy. They are dealing pretty okay amount of damage, I guess, but you know, the game came out like 3 or 4 days ago, so everyone is just learning their rotations and things like that. I'm pretty sure there are already challenger, some big penis energy fellas who's are extremely knowledgeable about the game, and maybe we have some of them in the comments that you are not playing this character correctly, or why are you using this ability like that. And well, sure, I guess this is also part of a game like this because it's kinda competitive in a way. You wanna have like the best outcome because there are leaderboards as well that you can blast and, you know, have your names up on that I completed this dungeon much faster than anyone else, but I was never really competitive people in any of these games, so I haven't really played ranked in other games and taken it seriously. So yeah, my biggest one was like, I guess, platinum something, beginning of platinum, almost out of you know, gold stuff, gold and platinum, but I didn't really enjoy rank, to be honest. Here it's kind of different because in a way it's not it's a PvE thing where we work together with other people to have like a really nice chance to just bump up the difficulty, have a great time, and so on and so forth. So I really like this is not a PvP thing and we have to go against other teams, because in this case I wouldn't play this game for sure. I got my fair shares of PvP games when I was younger and I'm just not interested in them anymore. But here it's a really nice dungeoning experience. I definitely love it. Of of course the question is how long until it is getting boring or stuff like that. But hopefully a couple of weeks at least, because I do enjoy the game a lot, and that would be awesome to have something to play for, like, I don't know, a couple of months or at least a couple of weeks, because it's always great to jump into like a new MMO, even if this is not a fully fledged one. I would say still a really nice familiar feeling that I have. Kind of went back in time for a bit. Let's just use my defensive ability because we pulled a bit too much, I guess. But still okay, Killer is doing a really nice job, even with my sloppy tanking, so that's great. So yeah, yellow ones can be interrupted, the grey ones cannot, so usually what you can do is just get out of the way of those abilities, or try not to just, you know, turn the enemy or the boss right into the team that you are playing with, so only just you getting damage. So I'm just going to tank it like this, because otherwise other party members would got damaged, and I really don't want to have that. We are pretty okay with time, less than 5 minutes elapsed, so I guess we have to just get these guys. And last time I usually use the Siren Wall on cooldown, because if we are going into like ranked things, because I really don't want to die. And I want to make it easier for the healer, of course. So 80%, so I guess based on the map, okay, we won't need any backtracking. So I'm just making them using only melee attacks, like auto attacks, no crazy stuff. Super fun. So no, just blasting the main attacks to reduce the cooldown on my AoE abilities. When this bar drops down, I usually go and click one shields up once again, and you know, just take less damage and feel like a real tank in a way. Okay, let's just get these guys, bleed them, put the shields up, and yeah, here we go. Try to... okay, now that's going to be interesting. So I have to use everything I have, because as you can see now, my toughness is going down like crazy. So Iron Will, thank you. Get these, get the brutal AoE, bleed them if that's possible. Shields up, now healer used its ultimate. But now we are at 100% and basically we can skip to the boss, if I'm correct, without any other interference, if that's possible. Yeah, I think the only one we can pull is this one. So I'm not pulling them up to the heal. Wanna stay and do 7+ later or after. Sure, let's try it. Maybe I, you know, fail spectacularly and you can see it on video. We will see. Maybe that was like a bad call and got cocky. But I'm pretty sure we can complete this because we have almost like 8 minutes left and this guy is not so technical in a way. Oh boy, yeah, we have to pull them, unfortunately. I wasn't sure about that, by the way, but, you know, better to pull them now than have them while the boss is active. Because I guess it can do some nasty damage stuff when we are in like bigger difficulties. But we will see. Interrupt that. Of course, buffs are up on the right, and we have those buffs there. I modified my HUD. Some of the elements are just overlapping with the party frame, but I really like to have, like, you know, compressed type of layout, because I have to focus only on that specific part of the screen, so I don't really have to look too sideways or whatever, because I usually found that a bit problematic. You just blast everything, so I just usually focus on one part of the map. Okay, okay, would have been nice if we could interrupt it, but let's just go there. Charge back, interrupt, use the toughness thing, and just try to keep it up in a way. That's it, basically. Okay. So of course, maybe some luck is needed with the ranked thing. So based on what dungeon you get to a specific level, because this one is definitely easier than the other one. I was trying to complete on 6 or 5. I don't really remember the number anymore, but yeah, you get it. So we got a cool, nice shoulder pad of frenzy. So yeah, hopefully we can, like, you know, take down the other one that we are up to. So yeah, I cut the rest of the video, unfortunately, because I had to leave the group because I did not have enough time, and that was pretty unprofessional, so I didn't want to, you know, include it in here. So this is how Helena plays in Fellowship, which is a pretty interesting, like, snippet of the dungeoning thing from all the MMOs, and I really enjoyed dungeoning in all the MMOs, so when the game came out I was extremely excited, and, you know, playing ever since the open beta came out like a couple of days ago, and mainly played her as a character, which is really cool. But now I am kind of opening to other characters, because, you know, playing like 8 hours with a character only, it's kind of getting a bit boring in a way, just like other team-based, like hero-based stuff. You are expected to change between characters. So yeah, hopefully you liked the video. Please click on all the cool buttons. You make the channel's life much easier, and, you know, let me know, are you playing Fellowship? What is your character? What are you looking for? What is your rank? And, you know, all the jazz. Take care.